What was the right one?
Smoke them if you got them.
Smoke them. I said if you got them, smoke them.
Yeah, he was close.
What did I say? When
You said smoke them if you try or some shit. I don't know what the fuck you said.
My goal is to try to get people who can't understand where we're coming from, where you see what's going on in the world right now. I panicked a little bit.
Hey man, bring back the old days.
But
I was always ready to go.
anytime you show up to the party with this, it better be drinking.
Yo, what up?
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Men and Meats podcast. We're back again. We got Travis with us. We got Jose.
Hello.
Jose stopping by. So everybody, welcome him.
What's going on?
But we are going to go ahead and get into whiskey time like we always do, right? Why waste time?
Oh yeah, let's definitely do it. No, yeah, absolutely. Let's definitely jump into whiskey time.
I feel like that's.
I was gonna say
premature.
something, but no.
go ahead.
No. I think let's do it after whiskey time, right? You know what I mean? I was gonna say, man, let's get a little introduction to Jose here. Travis, you're fucking old news now. Sorry, but we've moved past you. You know
Honestly,
what I'm saying?
old news, that makes me feel good. So.
Old news is good news sometimes.
right,
So
right.
that's a good vibe.
Mm-hmm.
But let's jump into whiskey time. Who wants to introduce the bottle this go round? All
I'll
right.
go ahead and give it a go. So
I fucked it up twice.
Today we have SIA, is how I'm going to go ahead and pronounce it. SIA, however you want to say it. It's looks like it's a blended Scotch whiskey, product of Scotland, and typically Scotches come from Scotland. So just presentation-wise, I think the bottle is really cool. As I've mentioned before, I'm not really a huge fan of like the plastic caps necessarily, but I don't think that in this case, I mean, it's just a black cap. It's very simple. Like, I get it. I'm not going to really fault it for it. I will say that the shape of the bottle is kind of unique, and I think it's pretty cool. It's a little bit more slender. It has like a little taper to it, kind of like a shoulder, I guess you would say.
Sure.
And this is a blended Scotch whiskey.
Right.
Right. And I think the touch that's nice is like the little label that we left on there,
Yeah.
which is always extra classy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, we're fucking fancy guys.
But I mean,
You know what I mean?
If nothing else.
we were kind of leaving it on there because Ken likes to point out this does have a 96-point rating.
Yeah.
So
The points, who knows? But there's 96 of them.
Yeah, that's out of 96
Oh,
for the
yeah.
record.
Well,
if you
there
guys
you
were
go.
wondering, 96 was the highest possible you could get.
and
So keep that in
I was
mind.
going to say 100.
Oh, you would think, but no, not this time. Not this time.
I guess this is from the Ultimate Spirits Challenge 2016. That's when they pulled the 96. So,
yeah.
Pre-COVID.
but like you
Yeah.
said, the bottles, I think the most unique thing about it, because just looking at this right here, I didn't know if it was like a Scotch or an Irish. It wouldn't be typically Irish in
There's
my
no
opinion.
giveaways.
But like you said, there's no giveaways. It's kind of a unique bottle, very tall, and it does have that shoulder effect to it. It's,
You know what?
It's unique.
It's got a female figure to it.
Yeah.
Like Sia, right? Does she? I don't
It's
know.
got like a tramp stamp on the back too, like a little etching.
Oh, it does.
Oh, shit.
shit.
Look at that. Look at that. Hey, man. Well
Good
done.
eye.
Yeah.
This guy can spot
Hey,
a tramp stamp from
I
a mile
saw
away.
tramp stamps from a mile away, boy. Don't you worry.
Well, that's another level of classiness, I think, that this bottle may provide.
Tramp stamps are classy. Let's make no mistake about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's bring that back.
No, but so the bottle definitely is something that you don't see every day, especially when you compare it to the others that we've had. It's definitely probably a little taller than the rest, and it does kind of have like a female characteristic to it. I do want to say to this bottle, it was gifted to me for Christmas. And then, so I had it then, and then I bought it again so we could kind of review it here. I think its initial intent was to be reviewed, and then I consumed it all.
So I mean, that says something. That says something, right? Like
Yeah.
it must be pretty good.
Yeah, and it is blended. We don't have a lot of blended. We've had a few during our time. Definitely some good ones. I think that kind of stood out. The Mavericks, I think, was pretty good. The Virginia Distillery one was pretty good. So here we go again, kind of jumping into that blended world. Yeah, you guys want to go in and get the nose on that?
Let's say hi.
All right.
Hello.
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 Hi.
One more time.
And how are you?
How are you?
How the hell are you guys doing?
I'm doing good.
Before we get into the nose real quick, looking at the color of this, very light whiskey.
Yeah.
Very light.
Very light whiskey.
I was gonna comment on that too.
Yeah.
Not
I wanted to
it's
say
a-
that right before that, but
Not that it's
I'll
an
say it now.
indicator or anything, but I
No.
mean, it's just something that's kind of stood out to me as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, it's It's pretty clear too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think on the breathability though, on the nose, this feels a little like I like the smell because you can tell, like you can smell the different whiskeys in there. Not like you can't distinguish them, but I like the fact that it has that whiskey smell. Because I think again we've gone down the road with the Islas and stuff like that. This one definitely has like that what you expect from the whiskey, especially being a blended one. I think that's what it's coming from.
Yeah.
It's just, you kind of smell that trademark whiskey smell.
So I think typically, right, the idea of a blended is that it's going to be a little bit smoother, right?
Right,
And
yeah.
so I'm definitely not picking up anything that's like overly harsh or that
Yeah,
is like
that's what I was
or
gonna say.
off-putting.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
you know?
sharp
Yeah.
note in there.
It does come off extremely
Mellow.
breathable, if you would. The breathability, as we used to say. It's definitely mellow. Mellow's a good way to put it. It's not overbearing, but it's enough there to let you know what it is still. Right?
Yeah, it's
like
not-
it's definitely not. It's not lacking. However, I think especially when you get into that peat and all of that kind of stuff, those hit you kind of hard,
Oh,
right?
yeah, for sure. They really
so
stand
so
out.
the difference is great between the two, but yet jumping back into that kind of world, the blended world, it's a nice change.
Yeah. No, I agree.
It's actually pretty nice because I'm not a whiskey person at all. Like me and whiskey, it's just like it's whiskey, it's alcohol. It all smells and tastes the same. I'm inexperienced in it, but this is nicely smooth and it isn't too harsh, like you guys are saying. Maybe I might start ordering blended ones at the bar because it's pretty good.
No, I feel like this would be a great whiskey for someone who's like trying to get into it, who maybe doesn't feel so comfortable, with the whole whiskey thing, because it can be overwhelming, But
yeah.
I feel like this would be a good introductory to that, because it's like we said, it's not anything that's going to be really off-putting, especially if you're not used to it, especially, and even more so with a Scotch, because like you said, we know with that peat smokiness, sometimes people smell it and they're immediately turned off by it. So, but I feel like this is like a good introduction.
Yeah, because my knowledge is Johnny Walker Blue Label.
Oh yeah,
And I enjoy that to the fullest.
Mm-hmm.
But anything around that, I'm just like, it's just whiskey to me.
right.
Well, yeah,
I don't
and-
know if I spoiled myself.
Well,
on
I'd
that,
say
but-
too.
No.
Blue Label does have a stronger smell to it.
It
you know
does,
what I mean?
yeah. I would
it's
say
a
so.
little more bourbon right there. You know what I mean? It comes off a little harsher, I think, on the nose at least. So all right, you guys want to give it a taste?
Yeah.
Let's taste this thing.
All right.
Cheers.
As always.
Why is it spicy? All my TikTokers know what that is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
Well-
it does have a little like kick to it, I would say.
Yeah, it does.
It lets
It's-
you know what it's about.
I think from my palate, it's a little mild in that regard, right? It's not overbearing at all. But it definitely you definitely get that that little kick, if you would. It's fair. It's kind of a little sweeter, I think, than kind of where we've been. In a good way. It's not
Yeah.
overly sweet either.
No,
It's not
no.
screwball. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Don't want to go down that road.
That's dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, that would turn me right the fuck away from it, man.
That is super dangerous.
The thing I like about this taste though is that it's stronger than the smell.
Yeah.
So right then
Yeah.
and there, you're already like based off the smell, it's inviting. But then when you taste it, you're getting like a kick, a little bit of a kick, not too harsh of a kick, but
No.
it's nice that it's there because on the nose, it's not really there at all. So you get that. Yeah, this definitely. I like that it has that because if not, it would be a little bland for me.
Yeah,
I like that it kind of it brought it back on the tasting part of it. a
Yeah, I
little
was
bit
gonna
for me.
say if it tasted the way it smelled, it would be kind of a letdown. But you're right; it has more flavor than it does aroma. So
Yeah.
there's more to it than meets the nose.
Yeah, and I think the citrus is coming through.
Yeah, and I think too when you have a blended, it's a little harder to distinguish the different flavors that are going into it, because it is blended like that, right?
Yeah,
And
there's
you
more
get
there.
different kind of different batches that are going in from different places and things like that. But I think overall, I think it tastes pretty decent. I like it. As far as the taste goes, like I said, the kick's there. It's definitely not overbearing.
No,
you know what I mean.
no,
And smell or taste, I don't think it's been overbearing.
Yeah, and I think that's the strong suit of this is like we were saying. It's a good introductory. It's not anything that's going to be off-putting. You know, if you're into the game and you've been doing it for a while, and you know, if you come from something like heavier or more smoky, like, you know, let's say a Balvenie or a Lagavulin or something,
right,
and you go to this, you might be a little disappointed. Might feel like, you know, you took a step down.
Right.
But you know, if this was your first pour of the Dike, you know, it's definitely not bad. So
yeah, I'll second that. Yeah, I'm right there with
there's
you. I
not
think
really a whole lot else to say, huh?
Yeah, I think one of the things we touched on a little bit earlier was that this is definitely something. I think if you want to get into it, and especially if you want to drink something straight, you want to, you know, have it neat, maybe even on the rocks, whatever it may
Impress
be.
a date.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's definitely something that you could kind of be like, hey, you know, here. Actually, my friend Erica gave me this bottle, and she doesn't like to drink whiskey at all. And I was like, hey, you know what? Why don't you give it a taste? She tried it, and she was like, oh yeah, it's not bad. You know what I mean? Like it's palatable to somebody who, as opposed to your Lefroy's and your Isla's and things like that, where it's a lot more like in your face. Yeah. All right.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah. And like we always say, like when you read the label of the whiskey, it's going to tell you what you should be looking for. And that's not a cheat sheet. So just to be clear,
I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad about that.
No. So look at what they're telling you is in here. So right here, it says on the nose, you're going to get that vanilla and caramel.
Definitely.
I don't necessarily get that on the nose. I get the smoothness of maybe the caramel and the vanilla. Maybe that softens the nose of it all. But then the citrus, I can taste the citrus.
Okay.
I'm not getting the hint of smoke that they're saying on here. If I am, maybe it's because the cigars are throwing it off a little bit. But
speaking of cigars, we should probably get into that, right? Give a little description on what we're smoking here. Yeah. So Ken procured for us, you like that word? Procured for us some Hoyo de Monterrey's. And I'm butchering the pronunciation, but, you know, cut me some slack.
That was good pronunciation.
Yeah, all right. I'll take it. I'll take whatever I can get. So these, they're a little bit darker of a wrapper. I would go ahead and go out on a limb and say that these are probably Maduros. And
yes.
yeah, no, I think these complement this nicely. So good job on the cigars.
And I'd like to say, man, so the first time I had this particular brand of whiskey, I had it with smoked ice. If you don't know what smoked ice is, that's taking some water, basically put it in a tray in a smoker, and letting that shit absorb all the smoke into the water, and then freezing that. So initially, I had it, and I was like, "Damn, it's smoky." You know what I mean? If you guys have never done that, man, that's a great thing to try. It was.
I have not tried it, but I'd be interested to kind of taste some other whiskeys that maybe don't have any smoke.
Yeah,
and see how it changes.
What you get with it.
You would take that cube and you would drop it into your glass.
Yeah, exactly, right. So like have like a big tray and then like just fucking break the ice up and put that in your glass. And
I felt like it would be perfect in this one.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right?
Yeah,
I was like, damn, with it like that. Because we're chasing that smoke, I think, right? You know what I mean?
I'm about to ash into my glass and just, you know, add a little flavor.
Might be a little chunky than what you expect.
Like Metamucil.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, I think a little char would be good for this whiskey.
Yeah.
So it's missing that element a little bit.
A little Kingsford.
Yeah.
That's crazy because I've heard of charred glasses where it's actually a wooden glass and everything is cured except for like the rim of the glass, and so they would torch it and then clean it off because the ashes and stuff like that.
Interesting.
And then you would take your sip of the alcohol, whiskey, cognac, whatever you're sipping on, but it would give that extra
little smoky flavor
to it.
Yeah.
I've never heard of the cubes. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's really cool. I think there's a lot of ways to do it. I've seen it where like they bring the cocktail out and they'll have like a glass dome or a bowl and they'll light like cherry wood or something underneath it and let the smoke get in there, and then they'll put it over your drink and then bring it to you, and then so you have like the smoke surrounding it.
Well, I've had it where they come out on like a little wood board. They put some herbs, some rosemary, whatever it may be, some orange peel. Some thyme, yeah, dude. And they bring a little torch and they like light all of that on fire on the board. Get that, put your glass over that. Let that sit on there for a little bit while they're like mixing your drink, and then they pour your drink into the glass. All probably effective methods.
Right,
you know what I
right.
mean? And again, I think we're guys that we kind of like that smoke vibe, right?
Yeah.
And I will say I do think it's interesting that they then claim that smoke, and I wonder if we weren't so into it, if we would taste it a little more.
Right.
So that's an interesting aspect of it, right? I mean, because we're going as heavy smoke as you can a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So
Well, and like you said, you know, we have more to compare it to. You know what I mean?
Right.
But whereas like the person who maybe is just getting into it, like this would come out across as like really smoky, you know,
Yeah.
on its own.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, either way, yeah, I feel like, you know, it's not bad. Definitely something I would order. But you know, I'm curious, what do you guys think you would rate it at?
I should mention the price point. The price point is about $40-$45, somewhere right around there.
I said 48. We couldn't remember exactly, but All right.
Somewhere right around there.
All
It's in the park. So with that, the presentation, like I said, it's definitely unique. It doesn't really fit on our shelf.
It's a little tall.
We'll have to throw that on the top there with the other tall bottles. It's like me, you know what I mean? I could relate to its pain.
613.
yeah, you know. And where's that calculator that we were supposed to?
I don't know.
Hey, it's in the mail, brother. Amazon is on his way.
All right,
Mr. Bezos is gonna drop it off soon.
Amazon's quick, not that quick.
Not that quick.
Not that fast, man. Nah, that's my move with
Shout
the
out
math.
to Smoking Hot Stephanie.
Smoking on Stephanie.
We're looking forward to that gift.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead with all the attributes added up there. I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
All right, that's pretty strong.
Jose?
Oh, me? Okay, hey.
One question though.
Yeah.
Do you taste the hint of smoke at the end?
It's whiskey, so
do it one more time.
One more time.
One more
Okay,
time.
Let me give you a little taste.
I just want to know if you taste the hint
Yeah.
of smoke.
I think
from
this is
somebody
a good,
who's
a good, yeah.
It comes
smoker.
across
Yeah.
as all
Yeah.
at all. Right?
Just like what you were saying, Travis. Someone who typically doesn't drink whiskey. Do you taste any hint of smoke? Because we love the smoke.
Yes, I do taste a little smoke because I taste smoke and barrel at the same time.
Oh yeah.
So I kind of think barrel, wood, smoke, wood, burn, everything like that, charred. So I do taste a little bit of that. It's a little bit of a barrel type of smoke.
Okay.
So I am tasting it. Yes.
Okay.
It's there. It's not like it's not there.
Yeah.
So we must just be way off the deep end.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah. I mean, and I could see that being the case. Right.
My taste buds are probably fucking burned off because I've been smoking for I don't know how long,
But because of that, do you think it adds to the flavor? Like, I'm curious. What do you think?
No, smoking definitely deteriorates any flavor.
Oh, no.
Anything that I taste.
No,
Right,
no,
but
the,
I
the
meant the
smoke,
smoke-
in the drink.
that you're picking up from
and
the
the
flavor.
smoke.
Yeah. Are
Yeah.
you picking that up? Is like, does that add to it for you, or is that like turn you away from it?
Oh
you
no,
think?
no, yeah, it definitely adds to
Okay.
it. Yeah, I love that. I love
Yeah,
that
yeah.
smoke, and even in my beer because I'm an avid beer drinker.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I love the craft beers. I love everything that's in that realm. We got an ash spill.
First one of the night.
He called it.
Probably not the last one.
They should wear those fucking pants.
Son of a bitch.
You actually jinxed it.
I was actually taking it over to the ashtray.
Oh man.
I keep looking at mine like, man, I should probably knock that off. But I'm looking at Travis like, man, he's out classing
This
me.
is, I mean, it looks silly, but this is the method right here.
Is that a curious like you have to be careful to take it over?
Yeah, dude, these things get fragile, dude.
I know,
Yeah,
yeah,
you gotta be
and-
careful.
They're on the cigars. I'm over here smoking cigarettes. I don't know. But definitely the smokiness does bring me to it because
Okay.
I would definitely order this. If
Yeah,
anybody had it on their bar, on the back bar, and I saw it, I would definitely order this
Okay,
for
cool.
sure.
Good, yeah.
So the rating.
Yeah, what would you give it a number?
My
rating?
rating, my inexperienced rating, just because I can consume it, it's about an 8 for me.
All right, good.
Okay.
And you like you don't have to give a caveat. Like this is like good for us, I would say.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
it's
it's-
just
yeah.
you get like a different kind of perspective on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And-
Oh, if it was horrible and it was harsh, and you guys were like, "Oh, this is bomb," and it was, to me it was too harsh, and
Oh,
I couldn't
yeah.
even have a glass of it, I would definitely rate it
This
down.
is a good
Okay.
one for you to have then. The other
Yeah.
ones, yeah, you would have been like, what the fuck is
Yeah,
this?
I'm sure there are
Yeah.
ones out there because
Yeah.
I'm inexperienced in the whiskey world where I'd be like, hell no.
But
there's
it's
no
just
way.
like, it's just like with craft beer. Like you said, you're into it. You there's probably some beers that you had in the beginning there you were like,
Oh, for sure.
And now that your palate has gotten used to it,
they're
a little more. Yeah.
Right.
they're the ones I go to.
Yeah, so I would say it's the same thing, but that's cool. It's good to hear, like I said, like a perspective, of someone.
And then in the beer world, I'm not saying I'm an enthusiast or an expert, but there are beers out there that are barrel aged and they are aged to the point where they reach this level of alcohol content where I enjoy it because I still see the beer quality to it. So it kind of, if you want to introduce yourself to the whiskey world, I would start with beer. Get into those Imperials and stuff like that. So I can take it a little easier. But this is nice though. This is very nice. And my whiskey knowledge goes as far as Blue Label, expensive Johnny Walker, where that's enjoyable. So I kind of surround myself around that. So.
Yeah, and that's a bit more novelty, right? Like, because that's a pretty expensive bottle, like a Blue Label.
And my opinion on Blue Label, I didn't think it was that great. You know what I mean? It wasn't terrible at all, right? Like it was good. Yeah, but it just was like, it's like the Highland Park. I'm like, it's cool. Yeah. I'm never gonna buy it again.
You know what's funny though? I had the Blue Label recently. We had it like week 10 or 11.
Yeah, early on.
I had it again like around Christmas. Holy fuck! The appreciation that I had, it was like I considered buying a bottle to have on hand because I can appreciate it so much more.
Really?
And the first time I had a Blue Label was on the podcast.
Yeah, same.
But when I had it again, I was like, holy fuck. The Blue Label was like really good. Yeah. Really good. Now, I don't know if I can spend that kind of money, but what I will say is that it was way better than the first time I tried it. Yeah. It's because I had a different appreciation for it. Right.
Good point. Yeah.
But it was so I can't sit here and say Blue Label wasn't amazing.
To me, it's worth it. I would spend the money on it. Yeah. With no hesitation. Right. I would.
Ken's like a pair of shoes or shoes are gonna win for him.
Right.
And that's not even not saying a bottle at home. Like a shot or a glass at a bar. Yeah. I'm sure Blue Label's like what, $40
for a pour.
Maybe 40, $50.
I'll pass on that.
I'm with it. I would
I wouldn't fuck no.
But that's what I'm saying though.
I'd buy the bottle, but
but that's my point, right? Like that Blue Label is expensive, whereas that's kind of like a novelty, and I feel like a lot of non-whiskey drinkers have probably had something like that because it's something to try, and say that you've had it. Whereas with this, like it's like you said, you kind of compare it to that, but this is way more attainable. At $45 a bottle, you know what I mean? You could buy this and keep it at home, and
hell yeah,
so that's
I would pour this for everybody.
Yeah, and that's my point. Like I feel like that this is just another reason why it's a good bottle for an introductory type thing. So yeah. But since we're going in the clockwise direction, I'll go ahead and give it my rating. Not that I'm an expert either, but I have had my fair share of whiskey, so I have a bit more to compare it to. I think I would probably land more closer to a 7, and not that it's a bad whiskey or anything like that. I just feel like, there's definitely some out there, even in the same price range, that pack a lot more flavor. But again, it's all preference. And so for my preference and my rating, I feel comfortable giving it a solid 7.
Yep.
Okay. So I don't feel so bad now.
It was a 4 for me.
No, so for me, for me, I'm gonna give it a 6.
Okay,
I'm gonna give it a 6, not because it's bad. For me, the nose is it's not sharp enough on the nose, and then the flavor, I would appreciate a little bit more of the barrel and the smoke that I typically like. The kick is definitely there. Yeah, the flavor is definitely better than the smell. So it's above middle of the road for me. But I do like how you get the citrus. I think there may be a hint of honey because I am getting a little bit of a bittersweet sense from it, so I kind of like that. But I'm not a huge honey fan. But because it has that profile, I'm not so heavy on this one. If it had more smoke and more barrel to the flavor, I think it would rank higher for me. But for me, it's going to sit at a 6.
Okay.
For me, it's going to sit at a 6.
Yeah, fair enough.
Ken, I don't know if you can average this out.
No, I have no idea. I was literally going to say,
you have your phone?
Average coming soon.
We got the iPhone calculator out. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right.
Another Android user.
Another Samsung user.
All right, what do we got?
7.5,
7.5,
6,
6.
8, 7.
That's an average score of 7.125.
All right.
7.1.
Thank you. 25.
I'm gonna go.
Going to the
You gotta round one down.
Yeah. Okay, so 7.1. It's not a bad one.
No.
And like you said, there's qualities to it, whether you're experienced or not. It's not a bad whiskey at all.
No.
And I want
It's very smooth.
I want to make a point, man. In the world where we're even talking like a 7 is bad, it is definitely not. You know what I mean? We've had much more expensive whiskeys on here, which we fucking just hated.
Trashed.
Yeah, hate it. You know what I mean? Like 4s and 3s. You know what I mean?
What did you guys rate the Buchanans?
Oh man, that was the worst thing I've ever.
I kind of feel like that was your worst one.
there's like 3.
It was either
There's-
that or the Japanese one or the Chinese one.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's the Japanese one, and then there's that damn whistle pig.
The whistle pig didn't
I
do
didn't
well.
see that one.
The whistle
Okay,
pig
okay.
was the worst thing I've ever drank in my life.
See? Hey, man.
The Japanese
Tonight
one
is
didn't
not
taste
that
like
bad.
whiskey.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a different vibe.
Yeah.
And I've heard that we just didn't get the right. And that one wasn't cheap.
Did it
That
taste
said, it was like
gasoline?
$100 right there. That Japanese, the Hibiki, I believe it was.
Yeah.
It was like $100, and I didn't care for it. The Buchanan's was like $100 too, and I didn't care for it either.
$100. Okay.
Yeah, it was 18 year. It was 18-year age, man, and yeah, it wasn't good.
Yeah. 7.1 is not bad at all.
Yeah, that's
Not bad at all.
that's a respectable score, especially when
Yeah.
you're considering $45.
And the price point?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And again, you're coming in for at least the 3 of us. I think people that really like that nose has to be hard. You really want that deep smoke charred flavor, those kind of aspects. So, yeah, I think it's respectable. You know what I mean? Especially understanding that this isn't necessarily. It's the same. When you bring it into like a bourbon, you know, we don't go bourbon deep. I don't think. Typically Scotch, but if you bring one and we're like, oh shit, you know what I mean, and stand out, you still probably get like an 8, and it'd be like, wow, that was really good, but it doesn't have the things that I like.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
you're not closed minded.
It's
to
preference.
It. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, and that's what it is. And if you trust, these guys and our opinions, then you kind of know where you're at with this.
Yeah.
I like that bourbon deep.
Bourbon deep.
Bourbon deep.
That's the next T-shirt. Bourbon
Well,
deep.
I'm not paying $100 for 18 years old.
No.
No.
Well,
Never.
not for Buchanan.
Well, anything 18 years old, I'm
James
not paying
Buchanan.
for $100 at that.
No, man, I damn sure would.
Yeah, there's some there's some that are age
Yeah.
18 that are worth it.
Yeah.
Oh no,
All right.
definitely 18 is usually a good.
No, usually 18 it's more than $100
Yeah.
for most of them.
The
Well,
12 is going to be around.
Yeah,
100.
about $100. Yeah, if you go to like Macallan 18, yeah, that's just gonna be a little more pricey. 12 is damn near $100.
Like Elijah Craig 18 was pretty good.
Yeah,
and,
Elijah Craig's pretty good
yeah.
with their base level one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean the Lagavulins like $76 and it's 16 years.
Right.
So
And,
that, you
yeah,
know,
and typically the longer it's aged, like the more flavor and the more mellowed out it
of
gets.
course,
yeah.
definitely the more char you're gonna get, the more barrel you're gonna taste. It's sitting in the barrel longer.
And
And
if I'm not wrong, and I've kind of like looked into it, whiskey starts off clear, correct?
Yep. It picks up its
And
flavor and its color
comes
In
from
the
the
barrel,
Mhm.
correct? Okay. All right.
yeah,
And so that's what I'm saying. The longer it stays in the barrel, the more flavor it picks up,
Yeah.
and typically the more color it'll pick up
Right,
too.
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, not bad.